Hi guys, this is Tyre and hope you guys are doing well. Today video is for the beginner system administrator who provide the services of SQL Server in a shared hosting environment. The hacker basically exploit the default port of the SQL Server or default username of the SQL Server to gain access or exploit your SQL services. By following a few security tips, we can secure our SQL Server. The first thing is to disallow the default port in the Windows firewall or any external firewall that you are using. Uh, if I go to the Windows firewall control panel, okay, so allow the default port of the SQL Server, which is 1433, for only your trusted IP, and this is the default port of the SQL, okay, 1433. So you can define the scope by allowing your trusted IP in this section, remote IP address. Other than these IP, the SQL will not allow connectivity with the default port. The second recommendation is to rename the default username of the SQL Server, which is SA. By connecting SQL Server locally in a SQL Management Studio, if you go to the security, you can right click under the login section, you can right click the account name and rename it. So I have already renamed it, so you can do that by following this step. The last step is obviously the customer who hosted SQL services with you. They will certainly need to access the DB remotely in the SQL Management Studio. The best thing is that you use another port in the SQL Server along with the default one, and you can give that port to the customer to access or connect the SQL Server in the Management Studio. If you go to the SQL configuration, which you can see in the SQL Server network configuration section, under SQL Server network configuration, choose the option protocol of SQL Server and TCP IP option. The second tab, IP addresses, okay, come at the bottom. You can see that along with the default port, you can define any custom port which is not commonly used. Okay, so you can simply insert another port here. After do that, you can restart the SQL Server and allow the custom port, the second port that you have added in the SQL configuration, in the Windows firewall, and then anyone can externally connect to your SQL Server with that default port. If I show you in the local host how they can connect, you can insert the host name and use comma separator. This is how they will be able to connect the SQL Server even from remote location. Thank you so much guys, and if you have any question, please feel free to ask me in the comment section. Thank you so much.